Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Brandify by Nandita Rendezvous Take 1. Last couple of weeks, we've been getting people from varied facets of life, right from people who've been in the television industry to people who worked in corporates. And we've been ensuring that you get a good experience of an understanding of their lives, what goes into making them. Most often than not, when we interact with people, we only see the success behind them. We only see the person who's in front of us, but we don't know the stories. So we just, as they say, we just know the tip of the iceberg, but what lies within the iceberg, beneath that iceberg, is something that I intend to showcase to you, talk about it so that we understand their journeys and we also understand how important it is for us to be a 360-degree human being. Today, I have with me a very interesting guest here. Uh, if you have been in Delhi, you would always have heard about embassy hotels and embassy catering. And of course, the quality chain of hotels is also something that is a credit that this person would take. It's a family business for them. So today I have the face behind Embassy Hotel for you. I have with me Mr. Rajnish Bahl with us today. And welcome to the show, Rajnish. It's a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the show.
So Rajnish, I think as a child, when I used to go to Delhi, one thing that I've always seen is embassy, right? It was a treat to go there and have food, obviously, and it was something that was made to appear like it. But who is Rajnish Bahl if I take out embassy from you? Yeah.
Well, who is Rajnish Bahl? It's a very different thing that I was born in Delhi, and my parents were. My father was working for a company called Wazir Sultan Tobacco Company, and he was in Andhra. So what they did was they sent me to my mother's parents to live with them because they were getting transferred. They wanted me to be not getting different schools and be unsettled. So they sent me to Delhi, and I was brought up by my grandfather. My grandfather was one of the Ghai brothers, and there were 7 brothers and 2 sisters, and everybody was in the restaurant and hotel business in the country and ice cream business, even quality ice cream. We had embassy ice cream, and I was brought up by him, and I lived with him. And yes, I studied in Columbus for a few years. Then I went to Doon School, and then I passed from Doon School.
Okay. So the prestigious Doon School, Dehradun, yes.
In school, yes, I was the back, and we were, very lucky to be in Doon School. Also, we were 2 years seniors because why? We were seniors for 2 years, so we bullied everyone for 2 years, as people would say. We were the first batch of 10 plus school, so we were seniors for 2 years, which was not something everyone had. So we were the batch of 79. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you like doing apart from running your business? I know you do a lot of things. I want you to tell us, what do you do? Yeah.
I'll tell you what I really love. Now I love traveling, and not by plane or any. I love traveling by car. And I decided this in 2018. I bought myself a Jeep Compass automatic, and I said I must travel. And travel in the sense that I will drive. I will take my driver just to keep the car, clean, or if there's a puncture or anything, but not to drive. He has to sit on the side. If some friend wants to come with me, you're more than welcome. So the first trip I did was to the Char Dham. Char Dham was Yamunotri, Gangotri, Kedarnath, Badrinath. It was a 10-12-day trip. It was in the mountain. The roads were in a very bad state. Now I believe the roads are being redone, and it's going to be very good state soon. But that time, yes, it was a tough drive, but enjoyed myself. I went to all the 4 places. Then I decided, okay, let's go drive. That was in October. And then in January, next year, that's 2019, I drove all the way to, the Golden Temple, from there to Vaishno Devi and back. And, I was alone in half the journey. Totally alone means no driver, because the driver had to come back from. So that was one. Then I decided, let me travel a bit, and I took a friend of mine from Columbus called Amardeep Sahni, and we drove all the way to Leh and Ladakh. It's very easy to go to Leh and Ladakh by plane, but you cannot see the different atmospheres, and we went via Kashmir and we came via Manali. It was a 14, 15
Wow.
day trip. Yeah, and we went
Awesome.
to all the places. One day in Jammu, then Srinagar, Kargil, then Leh, few days, Tosamriri, Pangong, Tosokar, and many other places. We went by car. It was 14-day, 15-day. Then we came back via Manali. So different ways. So we saw different atmosphere. Like you go in Kashmir, you see hills which are green with trees and things like that. And suddenly you are closer, you're into Leh Ladakh and it's barren hills, different colors. You're surprised how the hills are different colors, but it's beautiful. And then you were driving through snow corridors. Both sides there were snow corridors, and you were driving. Snow corridor is 20 feet on both sides, and you have to stop your car if a car came on the other side and stand next to the corridor and let the car pass. I think there was one movie also, Hindi movie. I'm forgetting the name. There was a thing like that in that, and then yes, then another trip I went to Hemkund Sahib in Badrinath, and the longest trip I did again was last year when in end of October. We drove me and Amardeep again. We drove all the way to Bhutan from here, and and on the way to Bhutan, we went one day to Darjeeling also. We went one day to Gangtok also, and then we went to Paro and Punchiling and a couple of places in
Wow.
Bhutan, and we came back. And the last trip I did was 2020, which was in the month of January. I went all the way to Ujjain, actually Indore, Ujjain, and Omkareshwar, Mahakaleshwar, and came back. It was 1900 kilometers I did in 3 days, driving myself. Along my driver
Wow.
and me, and I did that. And we had planned with some friends that we'll go to Myanmar this year also, but
Okay.
lockdown, we have to just
Uh-huh.
stop that. We just cancelled it. Let's see when it happens. It happens.
Okay. So travel is a passion, is what I
Travel is
understand.
passion. Golf is a big passion. I love playing golf.
Okay.
I'm
Huh?
a member of the Delhi Golf Club. I'm a member of the Air Force Golf Club. So I go and play golf there also. But yes, since the lockdown started, I don't have yeah. But other thing I love is exercising. And
Okay.
yeah, but I was not doing it for a year and a half, 2 years because I had my knee problem. But when the
Hmm.
lockdown started, I must tell you something. I had put on my highest weight ever in my life. I was 83 kilos,
Okay.
and my brother and my sister were teasing me. You're 4 months pregnant, bhai. So I said, what the hell? I said, okay. And I started little dieting, but when the lockdown started, I got a gym in my house. I've got a treadmill. I've got a this thing cycle. I've got a weight machine. I've got a cross trainer. I've got a belly machine. So I exercised then. Then I got bored. I said, let me cycle, and I started cycling. And in the month of June this year, I cycled till the 26th. I cycled 891 kilometers. Yeah,
Wow.
891. I wanted to touch 1,000, but on the 26th, I got hit by a scooter in Rashtrapati Bhavan. So I hurt myself, and I promised my family that okay, for a week I will not cycle. So I didn't cycle for a week. So I didn't complete my 1,000. But this month when I started, I cycled all the way one day to Greater Noida, which is 73 kilometers going and coming back at one go, 3 hours, 3 minutes. And then last Sunday, I cycled all the 50 kilometers in the morning and 50 in the evening. And now I'm back to my old weight of 72 kilos, 11 kilos down. So, and
Wow.
now my brother and sister says, you're totally flat.
I
And then
see.
I also do yoga every day.
Oh
Yoga
my
guy
God.
comes.
Okay.
Now started. I started his coming in, and he's coming every day. Yoga and a walk, or yoga and cycle, or yoga,
Okay.
or my exercise in the. So these two things I do every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's cycling, it's exercise, it's yoga, and of course, non unlockdown days, let me put it that way, it was gone, right? I also see a lot of paintings behind, and I have heard some stories about your paintings. Would you like to share that with us?
Well, it's something I like. I like to do up my house. Well, I had a very beautiful wife, hotel management. I did my hotel management from Pusa, and she was 1 year junior
Okay.
to me, and 1 year
Okay.
junior to me, and
Uh-huh.
we fell in love after a year and a
Uh-huh.
half only, and then we were in love for 4 years. And yes, she was a Sadarni, so a little issue, but we got
Uh,
married, and and she made this house beautiful, and we used to go and buy tanjors, and so I'm continuing now. I live alone because my son is married. He's done his, he's studied from, he's done his masters from University of Sydney. He worked with Accenture
mhm.
for 7 years, and I looks after
Yeah.
embassy. Catering is his. He runs after it. My daughter, she's, she did a master's in psychology from University of Glasgow. Now she worked with a British company called Coach in the Box. Now she's
Mm,
abroad. She works in Singapore. So I live alone. Yes, I have
mm.
5 doggies who are my loves. And you'll be
Yeah.
surprised to see outside my door, on my gate,
Uh,
you'll find a
uh,
name plate which says Bahl's, and it will
okay.
say Rajnish, Ritu, Pranay,
Mm,
that's my son, Karishma, my daughter, Avantika, my daughter-in-law, and then the names
mm,
are there: Ace, Muffet,
yeah.
um,
Uh,
uh, Janu,
mm,
Mischief, and Dil. These are my four loves who live and give me company. So they are my loves. They live with me, and they give me so much unadulterated love. It is totally beautiful. I love them. I love their company. So that's it. I live alone, but that's what my company is. Yes. Other thing I would like, I did my hotel management, and you might be surprised to see that my
mm,
grandfather was in the business. I could have joined the business
mm,
directly. But I had a different view. I said, you learn things in the college, but to
mm.
put it to work is a very difficult and different thing in the hotel industry. You have to change
Yeah.
yourself there. So I went and joined. I was in the opening team of Hyatt Regency Delhi. I worked there was
Yeah.
six. I started the management training. I became a manager with them. I was there 6 years. I worked. I did a couple of. I was a beverage manager where all the bars came under me, including the banquet bars, the Oasis, the discotheque bar was under me. Piano bar I was looking after. Then my last before that I looked up. I was assistant manager in Pearls, also Chinese restaurant. And my last thing was I was the manager of Angan, which was the Indian restaurant in Hyatt. And I then joined the restaurant business, and I knew what to do. I could upgrade things. I got it computerized. And the same thing I told my son: you want to get into business, but you have to work. So my
Mm,
son has worked for 7 years with Accenture. Before a year and a
yeah.
half or 2 years back, he joined or took over embassy catering, and he's upgraded that further. He really works hard because he knows what working is, because Accenture puts so much pressure on you. Same way Hyatt had put pressure that you have to work 12 to 14 hours, and that's the same thing. But if you straight from, you pass out and go straight to business, you will not know how to work hard. This is
So the
my might be wrong, but this is my view.
No, which is fine. So what I'm saying is your recommendation to anybody who wants to get into business is work for a few years, learn
Yes,
the art of getting grilled, working hard, stretching yourself, and then joining business that is going to help you.
yes. That is what my idea is, because what is the value of money. If you have got a business family and you go straight into business, you will never understand the value of money, because you are getting money for everything. Where you work as a person and you work there, you have to work hard to get your money. You have to work hard to get a promotion. You have to work hard to get your salary raised or whatever it is. You will not have to do that if you're on your same business. You will get everything. You want something, okay, take it. It's your business. Take it, take the money, do this. So how will you do? You will not understand. You have to work hard.
Okay.
That's the difference. That's my mind. Maybe because I'm from my father was not a businessman. He was a person who was in the job person,
Hmm.
and so I saw him working so hard, and I learned how hard work is a good thing to do, and how it helps you further in your business. And even my grandfather, he never asked me to join business immediately. He said,
Okay.
yes, you must work. And he made me, and he knew I joined Hyatt. And he said, well, it was only after 6 years. He said now he had reached about past 60s, and he had only two daughters. And both his son-in-laws, was a CA, and one was working in ITCBSC. So obviously none of them could look. So then he said, as you've done hotel management, and my cousin was also CA, and my brother was also done his MBA from, he was in America. So he said, you now look after this. So he made me. Then, otherwise maybe I was continued working further. And though I was a partner in Embassy Restaurants in 1979, I owned but a silent partner. I was not a working partner, non-working partner. I became a working partner in 1988. I could have joined immediately, from school, or even after just doing. I didn't even need to do. I could become a partner and say, okay, I'll get money. No, that's not the way I see life.
Beautiful, Rajnish. So the success that we see is very is earned, is what I would say. It's not just something that came on a platter to you.
No, success is hard work also, yes, but it is the full family. I must give credit to the entire Ghai family also. The start was my grandfather's younger brother who started ice cream and under the name of Quality, and then he started Quality Ice Cream in Quality Restaurant in Delhi, and then there was a person, Mr. I.K. Gujral's father, told him, why don't you open one in Karachi? So he told my grandfather, who was in, why don't you open a restaurant in Karachi? So my grandfather told his childhood friend Premnath Malhotra, who was in the construction business, but they were doing some other business together. He said, come on, forget that, let's open a restaurant. And they opened Quality Restaurant in Karachi in 1941-42, and it was doing so brilliantly well. But then obviously, partition took place. They had come to India, and Delhi. The brothers had Gaylords. They had Quality, and and they had restaurants in so many places. The entire family, Quality Dehradun, Quality Mussoorie. I'm talking of a lot of them had partners. All of them.
Lucknow, I remember.
Lucknow, Quality Kanpur, the Quality Pune, Quality Bombay, Natraj Bombay, Quality Ice Cream. This was all part of the family. Lido Restaurant in Hyderabad. So they were all. These were all seven brothers, and Quality Restaurant Calcutta, everything. Quality Restaurant in Madras, Chennai. So it was all the brothers. They were someone or the other. They were few together in partners in different restaurants. This was all. So I would say they were the restaurant and ice cream family of the country. Quality Ice Cream was the family, and everyone was a partner there, including my grandfather, my mother. But yes, afterward, the separation took place. And in fact, my grandfather, when he came to India, he started Embassy Ice Cream. But because the brothers were saying there will be little, there'll be between both of them there will be competition. Let's not do it. So just shut Embassy Ice Cream so that Quality Ice Cream can grow further. So my grandfather was a partner in Embassy Quality. Say, okay, he shut it. So all that, yeah. So it was a very close family. Everyone partnered together. Everyone loved together. Everyone lived together. Yes, and they had very close friends. My grandfather's friend Premnath Malhotra and he were inseparable, and they were very close to each other, and they would help each other for everything, And the other restaurant, which was first opened by Mr. Iqbal Ghai, who was my grandfather's younger brother, he opened it with his friend called Pichori Lal Lamba, who then later married the sister of my grandfather, and he's also part of the family, So all the seven brothers and two sisters are into it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember as a kid, and even till very late, I think Mayfair building in Lucknow had a Quality Restaurant, and that was something we went to. And I remember there was an ice cream parlor, and that was my favorite. And I must share this with you that I was a child, was a very shy child. I could never ask my dad I wanted an ice cream, but he always knew that what I wanted. The moment he'll pass through that Hazratganj road, he'll stop in front of the parlor and ask, do you want ice cream? And I wouldn't answer. He'd look at me and say, okay, let's get down and eat something. So I remember every Saturday evening, that was my place to be in. So thank you for...
That was my grandfather's younger brother, Aftar Ghai, who was looking after it. Other people were partners, other guys were partners. Aftar Ghai. And then his sons, Mithu and Mama, that's what I call, they were my mamas. They were looking after it. But yes, now things,
So that's what I'm saying. So my craze for ice cream, even today, I think I should attribute it to Quality. Okay, I also want to understand from you, if I ask people, around you, and you have your friends, school friends, your associates, what are the 3 words that they would use to describe you?
3 words they list that I'm very soft-hearted, and I'm very hardworking, and I'm
Okay.
very hardworking. And why I became hardworking was just because I'll tell you, this is when you work as a management trainee or a trainee in a hotel, they will make you, there'll be just a steward, or there'll be just a junior chef who will make you do such
Ah,
stuff. I've at
okay.
times onions for 12 hours. I've peeled garlic for 8 10 hours. Just because I was being trained in the kitchen. So you're training,
Hmm.
okay, now you go and do it. Because tomorrow they'll know I'll become a manager. I'll be the boss. So let me bully them now. So things like that happen. Yeah. So it's I've got a lot of close friends, yes, and my wife was very popular with everybody, very
Okay.
popular. I think she was more popular than I was, because she was very positive woman, always laughing, always this thing. And you'd
Ah.
be surprised. 1 month, I would never do it.
Hmm.
1 month, it was the first day, 1 month before Diwali, she would play
Hmm.
cards, and they play teen patta, what do you call it? And she
Ah.
would go with her friends and all. I would never go. I had to just drop her, and my pet name is Bunny. So she, Bunny, now for 1 month, I always see you. I will be going with your friends, and she would go with my friends, come back at
Okay.
4 after playing cards, and go to work and come back. I would see her.
Wow.
But now what has happened after she's passed away? All those
Mhm.
friends who used to play cards every day have most of them,
Mhm.
not 50, 90% of them, not playing cards at all, because they said we don't have the fun which we used to have when she was there. They don't play cards, Teen Pati, and they don't play cards in Diwali also. It's really, it's funny, but that's the way it is. Hmm. And she was
I
the
am.
first, I'll tell you, and she was the first wife whose article came out in the Doon School. There's a Rose Bowl, which is a magazine of the Doon School old boys, which is, it comes every 2 3 months. And she was the first
Mhm.
person that one of the wife, Mrs. Chandra, she wrote an
Mhm.
article on
Mhm.
her, and that was
Ah,
posted in the Rose Bowl.
beautiful. I
Shriti
have
Chandra,
something
oh, yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
okay? And I want to show everybody this because this is something which was I wanted to. So this is what you were talking about. One second.
Yeah.
Screen on. Yes. Okay. I'll just have Ritu's picture with us, and I would like to show her picture. So yeah. So
Yeah.
that's Ritu that Rajnish was talking about. Beautiful looking lady, and I'm sure she would have inspired a lot of people around, and she looks very approachable and very pleasant. Thank you for sharing that with us, Rajnish. I have with me somebody here, Rajnish, and he is somebody you've known for quite some time now. Okay, and let me introduce this person to you. So, this person that I want to introduce right now is actually a hotel management grad with 23 years plus of experience in hospitality, and he is a long distance runner. I think that you choose friends or you choose people around you who are into running or sports, is what I could understand. Having graduated to full marathons to ultra marathons, and his longest distance running has been in an ultra marathon 111 kilometers across Kardurgungla Pass in Leh. And I have with me here Sandeep Chikara. Hi Sandeep, welcome to this.
Hi, Nanda. Thank you. Hi, sir.
Hi, Sandeep. How are you? Yeah.
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Look at his mustache now. It's so funny. It's so
I'm
handsome.
impressed, man.
When he joined, his mustache would be so small, and this was many years back when he joined the catering. But now he's got a huge mustache.
The people
And,
stay away from him.
People grow, sir. People grow.
and no, I forget that. I must tell you something
Moustaches
else,
also
which you
grow.
would never you would not understand. Before he started this marathon and all, and suddenly he was eating and whatever thing, he had put on so much weight. He had become. He was to be thin, and then he become really fat. And then suddenly he started, doing this running and things like that. And now he's thin like this. He is so fit now. It's amazing. He's lost so much weight.
Okay, Sandeep. So you work with Rajnish in his business, right? You're working as
Yes, that's right.
part of his
That's right.
team. Share with us what is it like working with Rajnish?
Well, to be very honest, he is a darling to work with. Never had any problems. In case I had a problem, I would go with him with the solution. And
Okay.
90% of the times, if I knew he wouldn't like the solution, then I would complete the thing and then go and tell him it's already happened.
Okay, I like that.
And
I like that.
then he
Really?
would then he would then he would then he would bitch around, and after 15 minutes he'd tell, "ठीक है, okay, तूने कर दिया, अब तो there's nothing that can be done."
That's nice.
So, but anyway, he knew that he had that faith in my abilities, and the way I would have a control over the staff and everybody. But anyways, he's always had he's been a hands-on guy, so he understands when he sees somebody handling things, so he doesn't need to get into the thick of things until unless it is required.
Okay.
Yes, I give my staff. I have full faith and trust in them. I let them take the decisions only if they feel that they need to, ask me whether the decision is right. There's thing. Otherwise, I said, you take your decision and you go ahead with it. I will support you. Yes, sometimes they can make mistakes. Sometimes I can make mistakes. It's not that I'm also totally. Everyone can make mistakes. Maybe sometimes their decision is better than mine. But yes, because maybe I'm the boss, my decision will be what is accepted. No, but yes, I give them full this thing. That they can do what they this thing. Yes, they can consult me whenever they want.
Share some interesting incidents that you've had with Rajnish, Sandeep. That's what I would.
I'll give you one very specific incident.
Okay.
This happened when I had just, initially I was taking care of more the catering and less the restaurant, and then I moved on completely to the restaurant. So for me, restaurant, especially embassy restaurant, Connaught Place was like a very different thing. I had never seen such a restaurant with such a kind of clientele, wherein regular guests are people who come every day.
Okay.
So now, one day I was sitting with Mr. Bahl, we were sitting in the office, and, I was watching on the CCTV, and, I realized this is almost 10, 12 years back. And, we realized that there seemed to be a complaint on a table, and there were two guys sitting on the table, must be both 70 plus. And they were talking to the waiter and pointing at a dish. So I realized they must be complaining. So I pointed out to him. He gave me a smile, and he said, ha, ha. And I said, should I go and talk to them? The guy doesn't seem like he's being able to handle it. He laughed and he said, okay, you go. So I went. I called the waiter to the side. I asked him what the problem was. Basically, we have a very specific dish called embassy chana. So it's a very, very hot favorite. So they had ordered that, and he said, "Sir, वो कह रहे हैं कि the waiter told me that, sir, ये कह रहे हैं कि this thing is not made the right way it should be. So either you change it, or I will think about something else to order." So I said, "Let me try it." I tried it. I found nothing wrong with it. I said, I told him, "Sir, कैसा ऐसा हुआ है?" So he told me कि you replace it. I said, "Sir, let me talk to him." Again, he had another smile, and then he said, "Okay, carry on." I went to the table. I introduced myself. Sir, I am Sandeep Chikara, and I am the general manager of the restaurant. And before I could say another word, the elder one of them, he said, "Son, you said your name was Sandeep, right?" I said, "Yes, sir." I am asking you a very stupid question, but give me an answer before you say anything beyond. I said, "Sure, sir. What is your age?" I said, "Sir, I am 33. Well, son, I have been coming to this restaurant for the past 55 years. I know what embassy chana tastes like. Have you changed your chef?" I said, "No, sir." Has the recipe changed? I said, "No, sir." Sir, tell your chef if he can make it right, fine. Otherwise, I don't want it. That was the first and last time that I ever went to a table wherein I saw somebody above 60 years of age to handle a complaint. I said, if he says it is wrong, it is wrong. And then I realized why he was laughing.
Well, I was very, very clear in my mind that if you
He made me get that experience.
that you have to change it. You have to change it. If the guest says no, I will. Other thing I must tell you also about the Embassy restaurant a little bit is that there were four families right from the beginning who were partners. One was the Ghai family, one was the Malhotra family, one was the Vij family, and one was the Kapoor family. Even today, it's the same. So now the Malhotras and the Ghais, the partner, Malhotra is the elder to me. He's Sunil Malhotra, he's the working partner. Then from the Ghai side, I'm the working partner. And now Sunil's son, Savar, is also a working partner. And my son, Pranay, is also a working partner in the sense that he looks after the basic catering. And then we have Madhu Vij, who's my mom. She's also a partner. And Anju Kapoor, who was also daughter-in-law of the person who started it. She's also a partner. So we have full state. We are still the same group is still together since 1948. That means we are all together for 72 years. The entire group is together. And we have to look after each other. We have to have a good relationship with each other. And hopefully it will continue with the next generation, between my son who's Pranay and Savar, who's Sunil Malhotra's son. They have to work together to take the restaurant forward and make it, get more restaurants in terms of franchise or opening restaurants. They have to have a good relationship and work together hard, and then only this can develop further and become a much bigger corporate business called Embassy, which is in many more places.
I'm very impressed. Honestly, I've not heard of, four partners, 72 years. Very, very. I'm sure the strong foundations of each one of you as individuals also contribute to this. It's not only organizational culture, typically coming from an HR background, depends on the people on the leadership level. It's that leadership level values actually percolate down. So beautiful. Sandeep, you learned your lesson that day that when a person above 60 complains, just accept, right?
Yes, yes. Do not question his judgment.
Okay, any other?
If he says it's wrong, you better change it. Don't argue.
Very important lesson in customer service or from the hotel business is if a customer, says something, just accept. Beautiful. Any other thing, any other incident that you recall working with Rajnish and how it helped you in your personal or professional life?
Wherein he has helped me around with a lot of things. But typically, it is it has been more to do with the the life as such, as to how because the way I have seen him handle things which are especially the thing like when he lost ma'am.
Yeah.
So I was there with him, and I've seen how he handled those things. So it gives us a different perspective. See, professionally, of course, everybody will have something to add on, but it is the whole facet of the person which basically makes you complete in terms of your family, your home, and of course your professional life. So no specific incidents per se, but yes, how he has been handling things, just in the whole perspective.
Well,
And
I would
just
like.
again,
I would like to
please.
thank you to him also. I'll tell you, he was one person also. When my wife who was unwell and she needed blood transfusion in the last year when she was alive, she needed about 20 times there were blood transfusions. He donated blood. He got his cousins to donate blood and things like that. He did it for me, and he did it himself. He got his cousins, couple of them, and they all donated blood in the hospital. And it was because of that we got blood transfusion. My wife. Yes, but other thing which I don't which I did in my life, and this was a decision between me and my wife when she was diagnosed with cancer, was that we must keep the children and the rest of the family out of this, so that they don't get stressed when they and see what's happening to me. So whenever we went into hospitals for anything, chemotherapy, radiation, or whatever treatment, surgery, we made sure that the children were not allowed to come there, or we didn't tell them to come. So we did that. We did that. So that was a decision between. And yeah, it's a very funny thing. What happened was the day she went, she was not well. She had a chemotherapy, and she must have got a reaction to that. And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Let's go to the hospital." She said, "Okay, let's go to the hospital." Otherwise, she used to always say no. So I rang up. The doctor said, "Doctor, yeah, get her. We'll discharge her in 2 days or a day. We'll see." So I said, I rang up my son. So son said, "Yeah, should I come to? I'll come." I said, "No, she's getting discharged tomorrow. You just you can come in the evening or something. Don't come. Just don't take it easy." And I went and reached the hospital that was in Artemis in Gurgaon. And when I reached there, suddenly I saw when we reached there, she was not okay. So I made her catch me around my neck. I picked her up from the legs and I was putting on the wheelchair, and that was the head went back, and it was a cardiac arrest, and she died in my arms. So that was a tough thing, yes, but yeah. And I think that is one thing my children also feel. They would have thought they would have met her, but they couldn't come because I said, "Don't. She'll be back home tomorrow, so or day after maximum, so you can come on your own." And they were young. Yeah, she was not even 50. She was 49. My children were also young. So yeah.
I can see you've been talking about her quite often, and you work quite close to her. And I hear that after she's not there, the way you've carried on the house, you take care of everything. I've heard such, a lot of beautiful stuff about that since the time she's not been there. And I think you've been sharing that your friends and family have been a support to you. So that's really
Yes,
nice to listen to people like that.
Dosco friends are a good support. My Pusa friends are a good support. And now I become friends with back to I was only 4 years in Columbus. I'm in touch with them, and a lot of them are good friends now. I mean, they are also good support. I mean, we all meet, get-togethers. So there's Dosco groups where I meet, Columbus a group I meet, and Hyatt groups I meet, and also Pusa groups we meet. And that we are all good friends. Yeah, and yes, that is one thing which my children get a little annoyed with me because I spend too much house. I bought 4 carpets and things. I went to Leh Ladakh. I bought a carpet from there. I bought carpet from here, and I buy furniture and things. I keep doing. I love my house. This is something which keeps me busy to keep doing my house up. And they said, "You're spending money for no rhyme or reason. How is it so beautiful as it is?" But anyhow, so that's one thing which we fight about. But no, that's it. Yeah.
Ma'am, he's gone berserk. He's gone berserk after ma'am passed away, because when ma'am was there, she would never let him do that.
That's true.
He didn't have a choice. He didn't have a choice.
I must tell you
He,
another very funny thing.
you could see who the boss was.
One of the reasons I've lost all this weight is now that I'm going to start looking for a girlfriend to give me a lifetime. I want a lifetime nice, pretty, good girl to give me a lifetime companionship now, to give me some company.
Thank you for joining us and sharing the
Thank you,
story.
Nandita.
Rajnish.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, sir. Bye.
Bye. See you.
Now, I also would like to invite someone else, Rajnish. This person, again, is somebody who has worked with you. Okay, and let me introduce this person. His name is Ashish. And Ashish, again, is somebody who is working with Rajnish, of course. But more importantly, Ashish is, again, somebody from the hotel management background, working with Rajnish in his in the capacity of a part of his team. And he has 20 years plus of experience. And again, a die-hard fitness enthusiast and a fitness coach as well. So this is for everybody who's listening to us. If you want to know, you want to be healthy, you want to, be a fitness freak, Rajnish will only be a friend to you if you are one of those. And now we know why people, even if they go to embassy actually keep fit, because there's our fitness people who are in the team are a part of the fitness what industry, right? Welcome to the show, Ashish.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, sir. Good evening,
Hi, Ashish,
Nandita.
how are you? So, how was
I'm
your training today?
I was off today.
Okay.
Enjoying my Sunday.
He started exercising about 6, 7 years back, and he would exercise 2, 3 hours every morning, and he
I tell
became
you,
so. Now he's learned so much that he's become a fitness coach also. He's coaching people in the health clubs. You know,
well, that's my second passion. First passion was always food, and this was my second
If you
passion.
take food and fitness as a passion, they don't go hand in hand. They both start with the same word. But
Food also the restaurant and the catering food, not the normal ghakka food. It's like proper heavy food. But
I know.
yeah, these two have been. Sorry, I didn't get you.
I said, how do you manage food if you're a foodie? You can't. How do
See,
you? Yeah.
I eat all my food because being in the catering trade, I have to taste everything that we are cooking for the client. So I do the
Ah.
tasting, and I stop myself at the tasting, level.
Mhm.
I don't go beyond that.
Ah.
Beyond
Ah.
that, I eat what I'm supposed to eat.
Ah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So, what has been your experience working with Rajnish?
I think I've been with Sir most of my career. I think
Okay.
more than 14 years I've spent with him. And
Okay.
he's the reason why actually I came back into this industry. I was almost on the verge of leaving this industry and finding another line for myself, another
Okay.
field, another profession. But he's the one
Uh-huh.
who pulled me back in, and I joined him in 2003, right, sir? 2003, I came and joined Embassy, and
Okay.
the experience working with him is, I mean, he's never been a boss to me. He's a very humble person. He's like not the bossy kind of a guy who would say, I'm the boss. And you can always find him standing beside the trucks, getting them loaded for the parties and all that. He would do all those things that a lower level staff is supposed to do, and he would not mind that. He would enjoy it. He would be
that's
there
right.
first thing in the morning before the first truck leaves for the site, and he'll make sure
Okay.
that everything is loaded into the truck, and so that kind of involvement. He's always been a team player. He was never the boss.
This is something I learned because in Hyatt it was the first hotel in the country where the managers had to really work properly also and serve also. So I learned that there, and I would. So now what he's saying is, yes, I would stand on top of the truck and I would take the menu and I would say, okay, load this, load this, load this, load this, load this again. And at times, at times also forget it. At times, there were suppose there was a catering of 300 people, and this and and the people became 500 or whatever it was for, and the plates became less or something. In the staff, I would be cleaning plates also, and people would, at first time, the sir chodo. Then they saw me that I would do it every time, so they would accept it. Oh, continue.
Okay. Chलता है.
Yeah, I mean, it has happened a few times. We crossed our minimum guarantees, and
Hmm.
we had to redo the food altogether. So he was standing in the
Okay.
kitchen, rolling the croquets, and just crumbing the fish and all that stuff. So he was always involved into the operations. So it's always been fun working with him. Because he always felt a part of a team. It was not like, oh, boss again. Like it was never like that with him. So
Okay.
that's what is something which is very different about him. And we used to chill out also after the party. You remember the Goa party, sir? We did a
Yeah,
function in Goa, and it was a 2-day event. And after that
Huh.
event, we chilled our beers a day before, and the next whole day we roamed
you're
around the
forgetting,
Goa.
you're forgetting another party which we did recently. This is my son had got a booking, and he and me were there, and we went all the way to Hyderabad. We had a catering in Hyderabad.
Yes,
This was the
yes,
last year. Yeah,
last year,
last year.
February,
Yeah,
February.
February
Yeah.
last year, and then so we went to Hyderabad to do a catering from Delhi. Can you imagine? Yeah, and my
Wow.
son, and I must say, even my daughter-in-law is a very hardworking. She also joined into the same type of work. She's opened a Japanese restaurant called Kampai, which has got awards. It was done. Opening was done by the Japanese ambassador to the country, because once he had come and they gave him food trial, and he said, yes, the food is very good. So
Wow.
he came to the opening of Kampai, which is in Aero City, World War One in Aero City, and he did the ribbon cutting when the restaurant is open. And her restaurant is doing very well also. He's got a couple of awards. They had to go to Paris to get an award. The husband and wife went to get a good award for the Kampai restaurant also.
So this next time, a Delhi trip post-COVID, I must visit because I love Japanese food. I've stayed in Japan,
You
so
must,
that's one
you
of my
must,
favorite.
you must, you must.
I will, I will. Now that
You
I know, I would definitely do that. And yeah, so I'll go to straight to Rajnish's house, and I've heard you got
Yes.
awesome food in your
You
house.
must try the cocktails, the signature cocktails of Kampai. They are, you know, you would just love them. They're amazing. I mean, the detailing each and every cocktail and each and every dish is outstanding.
Waiting for COVID to get over now. I think that's more important. So, thank you, Ashish, for sharing your experiences with us and how Rajnish is not a boss and he's a hands-on person. It's lovely to
Yes.
know that. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye, sir. Bye,
Bye.
Nana.
Bye. See you. Ashish. Thank you. Bye.
So, Rajnish, I've heard a lot about you. You're a very, very caring person. I have a common friend who, because of who I know you, and she's always been calling you a father figure person who is her go-to person. So, I have always heard very good things about you. It's nice to see, so much of warmth of, about you from people who know you so well. So let's go a little deeper into this. And I want to show something again, which you've been talking about, and that just talks about, I see a lot of people calling themselves pet parents, but here is somebody, and I thought let me just share this screen with everybody. So outside Rajnish's house, not only do we have his names, but the names of all the pets that he has in the house. It's a beautiful thing. I think
They're not my pets. They're not my pets. They are my
yes,
children. They are
your
my
kids and
children.
your grandchildren is what you told me, right?
That's my children.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So your children and your grandchild also, you told
And
me.
my grandchild, yes. Janu is, Dil is my grandchild. She was born to Janu. So I called her Nanu Ka Dil, Nanu Ka Dil. That's why I call her.
So yes, so you won't see this in a lot of houses. So, and I am now seeing this picture. I'll have a lot of comments because my daughter is one who would rather have her son in the house than me in the house at times. And I see a lot of sweet things coming up here. So that's really awesome. That talks about you as a person, Rajneesh. So coming back, yeah, it goes. I knew it would come in. Yeah. So Rajneesh, I have some questions for you, which are more related to branding and how Rajneesh as a brand grew and what he thinks about branding, right? Because so I want to start the questions for you there. So if when you talk about branding or when you talk about a brand, what do you think it is all about? Is it more about marketing or is it much more than marketing?
I mean, my brand does not need any marketing.
You
No
are
marketing.
okay.
It, there's some families whose grandparents would come, and now their grandchildren are coming because they would say we would come with our grandfather, and and they like and there'll be one dish they'll love that dish. One guy will like that dish. I'll give you simple examples of some dishes. Some people like dal meat. Some people like chana. Some like a butter chicken. Some like a chicken supreme. Then we have something called murg musallam. We got chicken masala. We got samosas which are this big, and things like that. So they'll come and they'll come, and the generations are coming, and a lot of people will come at one time in the morning. There was, would say, tea time. It was full of all politicians. Congress or the other parties, they were sitting in the restaurant, and sometimes there would be a little argument between them also, or just talking, and the Congress party would be sitting there. I think that would happen. So, and the regular guests, yes, marketing we need to do if we want to go. Yes, but people from other cities also know us, but we need to. We want to now open restaurants in other cities, also do franchise probably in Delhi and things like that, and maybe some. So that is on the thing. Yes, for that we'll have to do marketing, and me and Sunil Malhotra will have to do advice, and Savar Malhotra and my son Pranay Bahl will have to do the workout, and they have to do it. And if they want this thing to grow together, I mean, I'll be 59. Sunil is about 67. So it's them. They have to do it. My son is a very hardworking guy. Also, he's 33. The way he's upgraded the catering, embassy catering, it has become one of the most popular caterings. He's got award. He had to go to Thailand once to collect in Bangkok. He went to collect an award for embassy catering. So he's a very hardworking guy. I mean, if there's any catering big party, my son will be there till 2 o'clock at night. He'll go for every meeting. He'll do everything. So he's a very hardworking guy. Yeah. And Savar works for the restaurant now. He looks after the restaurant. Yeah. This guy. So they both have to work very hard. They have to take, and a brand, they don't have to market. The brand is known to everybody. Embassy. And there are some places people have copied our brand. We can do a case. There's one in, I think, in Simla and one in Nainital. They're using the same way we wrote it, which is our brand, which is registered as our brand also. But they want to show that it's part of us, and that's why they want guests to come. So it's yeah.
You are a big brand. Actually, there are a lot of people who want to copy it right from you.
But 72 years, if a restaurant is working, yes, there are other restaurants also with slightly more in Delhi, but there are very few of them which are that old and doing well, and yeah. And
I remember embassy as a kid. I remember annual visits to Delhi meant at least a trip to embassy. So I always remembered that. So when I was told about what you do, I said I would love to, because it is from the time I was very young, I've been going there. So yeah.
I'll tell you something very hilarious which happened. When I joined in 1988, and then I decided to computerize the billing and things like that. And the people who would do my bill, do the billing were very old people. Old means they were 50s. They didn't know anything about computers. They said, we can't do it. How can you? So everything, a person from outside who came and did it, and I was working with him, and we were working, and we did. And then they slowly started doing it. And after 2 months, they said, now it take us 5 minutes to make a bill by hand. Now it takes us 30 seconds. Thank you so much. But they thought they'll never be. The old people, they thought they'll never be able to do it. But because it was computerization, they never knew about computerization. But yes, after that, now everyone knows. They can't do it without computer. If they have to make sometimes if the computer goes off or something, that's we can't make a bill, by hand. But those people have all retired. But even when it happened when they were there and the computers would go off, we can't make the bill. It's too tough now.
That's nice. So, Rajnish, I have heard that you are a very religious person. Okay, you're a very religious person. I do see a very beautiful puja in your house, but apart from that, you are a very, very pious religious person.
Yes,
and you believe in healing. So, tell us something about that part of your life.
Religious, yes. I have become a very religious person. That's why I travel to all those places like Char Dham. I go to Mahakaleshwar every year. That's why I went to Ujjain. I go nearly every year to there. I go to Shirdi every year. I go to Guruji's Mandir. I used to go at least once a week. Then I go to Vaishno Devi. I go to Golden Temple. I love going there also. So and then I pray in the house also. And I mean, yes, a lot of things like Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I will not even touch non-veg or alcohol. Alcohol was my company after my wife went, because that was one company. But I said, I have to cut this company off. I need different type of companies. So I'm doing that. Yeah. So that, yes, I believe in healing. There was a guy, Patrick, a famous guy who I still follow. And he's now in Santa Barbara in America. He's just healing in many countries. So I follow him also, and things like that. Yeah, so all that I do. And yes, Shweta, also I talk to her, and she's a sister. We become like a brother and sister now, and we are very fond of each other. And she does tarot cards and she does healing. So I'm in very good touch with her also. And I'm very fond of her son and her parents. And they also like me. So, when I go to Dehradun, because I go to Dehradun for Founders Day, because every year Dehradun, the Founders Day big party, which 2,000 people, we used to cater. And now, last 2 years, because of reasons that catering was happening. It's not that no one else is catering. Also, they had cancelled it. We were doing it. So I would go every year, Founders Day there, and yeah. And last year I did again. Was my batch's 40th year, and I'm the class rep of my batch. And you can imagine, we were about 85 batchmates. Out of that, about 46 or 48 of us came for the Founders Day. And from America, from different countries, they all came, and we had, along with their wives and some of the children, and we had a great time, enjoyed ourselves.
So, Rajnish, I have with me the last section right now, which is called the rapid fire round.
Oh, that's a tough one. That's attacking me now.
Yeah, so you won't get any time to think. It's a reaction, and 1 to 3 words maximum would be the response. Okay, should I start? Okay. What is your brand statement? Rajnish's brand statement.
Working partner.
Next one is what is your style statement?
What is my
style statement?
Style statement. Style statement is that like beautiful hair.
I love that.
It made me white early, but I'm not dyeing it. I don't dye it. I never tried to dye it ever in my life.
Okay, which is your favorite attire?
Favorite attire is kurta pajama.
Okay.
And with a jacket also.
With the jacket, okay. Favorite color?
My favorite color is maroon.
Favorite food not from your restaurant?
Favorite food not from restaurant is my kampai sushi. Sushi, I love it there. Love it. Amazing sushi.
Okay. Your favorite child?
My favorite child. I cannot say that. I'll say Janu. That's been fair to both my children. Janu is my favorite child.
Okay. One thing that you regret in life?
Regret, my wife going away. Yeah.
If there's one thing that you would like to change about yourself, what would that be?
What I would change about me, I should become a little more practical in life. I'm too soft in life.
Okay, that I have heard of. And what is the legacy that you want to leave behind as Rajnish?
Legacy, I want Embassy to prosper and go further and further and further, and my children to go further and further and further, and my partner still wants to go further and further and further.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rajnish. It was a pleasure talking to you, listening to your stories, and also understanding the man behind Embassy. And finally, when I did realize that there is a lot more to you than just the brand that you carry forward. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.